Welcome to Gazali. Today we have a guest with us whom I must confess I am very, very happy to talk to. He has been a very good friend for many years. He is a filmmaker, a writer, and a great human being. Many people have described him as a Sufi leftist. Saeed Mirza. Saeed Mirza, I think all of us have enjoyed many of his films. Albert Pinto ko Gussa Kyoon Aata Hai, the serial Nukkad, many films. But here, he is not going to talk about his film today. He has written a book on one of his close friends, Kundan Shah, who passed away a few years ago. And this book is a very different biography than any biography I have ever read. It does not have a structure of a normal biography. This is a unique language of biography which Saeed Mirza has discovered. It's a little bit like a film script. It's a little bit, there are monologues happening there. There are anecdotes happening there. And the title of the book is most unusual. It says, I know the psychology of rats. I read this book a few times. Well, I know the psychology of rats was a statement which Kundan Shah made, which is not directly relevant to the book. But yet, I think it's a very catchy title. Let me talk about a little about Saeed Mirza and about Kundan Shah. You know, we are in a world where most film artists they refuse to talk about the political situation. Recently, some very famous film stars said that, no, I'm not going to comment on political situation because I'm an artist. Basically, I beg to differ with all these viewpoints because if you are an artist, you have to be political. You should have that fire in the belly, which Saeed Mirza has and Kundan Shah had. Their work is a kind of a commentary on the political and social situation. And this is a biography of Kundan Shah, where Saeed Mirza basically uses his biography as a medium of narrating political and social histories and discussing issues. They floated their friendship, Kundan Shah and Saeed Mirza, in FTI, Film and Television Institute in Pune, when both of them were students. So let us begin with your friendship which you struck at the Film Institute.
With Kundan Shah. But I must also add that Kundan Shah is incredibly famous for a one piece of work that he did many years ago. It's called a film called Jaane Bhi Do Yaaro, which is considered one of the greatest films made in India in the last 100 years. It's one of the supposed to be. He is a maker of that film. But let me go back to our stint as student at the FTI. जब पहली बार हम मिले वहाँ FTI में, I used to wonder what kind of person is he. All he did in class was to take down notes. Fellow speaking और note लिख रहा है. I think ये क्या है? Is he listening? थोड़ा सुनो यार, and then start no. But he just note. In film theatre, we had lots of screenings in the theatres, in the night, in the dark. He had a little torch and he'd be taking notes. ऐसे ये क्या film बनाएगा यार? इसको first absorb the film, उसके बाद note लिखो, मगर तुमने शुरू से note. So we weren't very close, but I think I said, कैसा filmmaker बनेगा?
But you must realize that his background was different from yours.
Absolutely.
He came from a Bania family.
And not just that, he got a complex वहाँ. कि ये लोग जो आते हैं वहाँ, सब अंग्रेजी में बात करते हैं, and they discuss philosophy and music and aesthetics and literature. And वो बेचारा, he was felt incredibly uncomfortable, which I realized much when he explained this reason to me. At that time, he didn't know. But so we were in class together, but not very close. And towards the end of the third year, we got to know each other, came slightly closer to each other. But when I saw his diploma film, the आखिरी film जो बनती है ना, the last film, it was short of being a masterpiece. It was the best film of our class, according to me.
Okay.
I said, my God, yeah, यही लड़का जो nerd, I thought it was a nerd, कि लिखता है pen pusher, ये क्या film बनाएगा? That last film was an absolute gem. I said, my God, yaar, wow. So I shook his hand. I said, "Well done, Kundan. Really, I'm quite surprised. I'm also amazed, you know." And we shook hands. We parted because I was going to Bombay to make my work. He went with his friends to the south, to Hyderabad, to work over there. And then I heard stories that bhaiya wo they're struggling to make films, struggling to do work, find work in Hyderabad. I made my first film, Advin Desai ki Deep Dasta, and I was just celebrating that fact that I got news in Bombay that Kundan Shah ne shaadi kar liya, he's got married, or he's gone to England with his wife. I said, oh my God, what a waste. He was so talented. Did he have to go there to England? Kya karega
he became a typist there.
And became a typist. And
so why did he go to England?
Because he wasn't getting work in Hyderabad, finding it very difficult. Shadi ho gayi. Because he was from Aden, so he got natural entry into England. But I said, my God, he became a typist and letters of credit sending back and forth. Bichara wahan phas gaya tha. But he came back. Because I just realized that he was born into a trader's family. Of course he was. Yeah. But at the film school, he had tasted poetry.
Yes.
Film school mein he had learned, he tasted poetry. He had to come back. Yeah. And wo wapas aa gaya. He came back to Bombay. He was miserable in England, absolutely miserable in England. Magar उसने सुना वहाँ के बम्बे में Saeed is starting his second film. So he told his wife Bakola, and they had a daughter then. Yeah, let's go back. I'm sure.
Which was the film you were making that time?
Albert Pinto.
Okay.
So Saeed मुझे नौकरी दे देगा 100%. उसके बाद we start again. Wife agreed.
Tell me that anecdote. That's the most unusual anecdote. He enters your house and says, "I want a job."
Yeah.
And then he asks you, "How much will you pay me?" In front of everybody.
सबके सामने. He was desperate. And can I get an advance? Advance with But the thing was, he came back because he had to. He said, he just kicked up everything, so mujhe wapas aana hai, and I take my chances over here. And I happened to be then, that was his first job. Uske baad, he got so much work that came his way. Because he's such a first-rate filmmaker, first-rate assistant, he just took over, you know. So, that is our journey. And then, uske baad, of course, we became partners for television serials. You know, we did films separately.
He was your partner.
Yeah. We did films separately. On the television front, we were partners. He, Aziz and I.
Okay. All three of you. Okay.
All three were partners. So we did Nukkad, Intizar, Circus, Manoranjan, Patne Kya Kya Kiya. We did lots of programs. Police Station. And yeah, that was our journey. And in that, we became very, very close. But at the film school, as a student, we were very political. He said, filmmaking is free of any politics. And that's why he said, Saeed, I don't want to get contaminated by you guys. As a student, you know. We politics, what has got to do with cinema? Koi rishta nahi hai, politics and with cinema. When he was in England, he realized that when you face racism, the idea that you're Asian and you're black, and you're a migrant, then you start sensing things around you. What is hate all about? What is racism all about? What is colonialism all about? What is history all about? What is economics all about? What is politics all? His reading habits started changing, and he got into political literature.
So if I may sort of comment that your films and his films, television serials, is kind of a social realism with a garnish of humor.
Absolutely.
That's what, and it was, for the first time, it was a moment in history of films.
Absolutely.
Where you did this, nobody else had done this before.
And with television, 100%, yes.
And now tell us about, for example, his film on police brutality, on police functioning of police stations.
When we were together as partners, we ended our partnership in 1996 because we wanted to do it separate ways, into film. But We did a series on a police station, on the police force. And the amount of research that Kundan Shah, my brother Aziz, who was working with him, and Swaran Singh, the writer, they did. All over the city they went, interviewing all kinds of people and under trials, policemen, khabris, lawyers, And then they made this series called Police Station, thorough research. When I saw it, it was incredibly powerful, incredibly strong, but also very, very hard-hitting. I told Kundan, we might have a problem with this, my friend, with the censors. Ye kya ho raha hai, Can you tone it down a little? He said, Saeed, what? Tone it down. It's already toned down. It's much worse. Reality is much worse than this. We've toned it down. So, jo aap dekh rahe hain, it's toned down. I said, then let's hope it goes.
And
through.
what did the censor do about it?
Immediately banned. We went to Delhi and we just stopped. We said, we're not. I still remember there was some Inspector General of Police who happened to be in Delhi at that time. So they showed it to him, the Doordarshan people. And he said, if you allow this on this television screen, the police force will mobilize funds to talk about the corruption in the bureaucracy.
Okay.
If you allow this. It is banned, stopped. So it was a body blow to us. Finally, of course, with much cajoling, etc., a very watered down version was done, which Kundan very grudgingly accepted it, कि यार ठीक है कल नहीं है क्योंकि इतना पैसा invest किया था हमारे इसमें. But it was a shadow of the original. The point is, fundamentally, the serial said something very simple. If you are poor in this country and don't have contacts, you will not get justice ever in a police station.
A great message in a very...
By and large, for the poor, they don't have a chance. By and large. Occasionally,
police stations, they don't have a chance in the whole system.
In the system. By and large, this is true, because if you are poor, and you can see it now, so wherever you go, agar aapke paas paise hain, contacts hain, it will happen, kuch na kuch ho jayega, magar for the poor.
Now talk to us about the great film Kundan did,
Jaane Bhi Do
Yaaro. So, how did it happen? And it was funded by the National Film Bureau. Yeah.
It was a film that was written by a group of young people from the FTI and the National School of Drama. They mix Kundan, of course, being the apex. And they wrote this script and they wrote it. Occasionally, I'd listen to parts of it, I found it funny, etc. And finally, it was submitted to the NFDC.
Yeah.
And they were a script committee. So the script committee saw it, it's very nice, etc., but we want to make a few changes.
Okay.
So they never happened like that with us. Changes, ye kya hoga? So Kundan was called and said, look, this is the script committee's recommendations. We want to send you to an expert.
Okay.
And if he or she accepts it, we pass it through. Okay. With no changes. The expert happened to be my father.
Yes. And he obviously okayed it.
Yeah, he said, okay. He said, don't make any changes. He said, if this film is like snow, tum changes karoge to baraf ban jayega. It'll become like ice.
Yeah.
Chhona mat, banao jaise tumko banana hai.
And that was the biggest success of
Absolutely. And today it's a cult figure. Jaane Bhi Do Yaaro is considered among the 100 best films ever made in India. Ever made in India.
Why is it considered so big?
Because it is potential. It is funny, but it is also iconoclastically funny.
It talks about all the corruption in building industry.
Absolutely, in everything in life. But it's very funny, and it's deeply political. And then it takes on ritual. And finally, there's one scene of the on a stage with a theatre group was performing the Mahabharata. And all these villains enter the Mahabharata scene and they becomes complete tamasha on stage. And it's filmed. So therefore, like I said, nothing was sacred to Kundan. He would attack anything. And it became, when it was released, it didn't get that much attention because it is reasonably well accepted. But over time, as younger people started getting engaged and they started seeing cinema, and then suddenly it's become a cult film now. You mention Jaane Bhi Do Yaaro to young people, say, my God, that's Kundan Shah's film. So deeply felt. People thought it was a comedy, but no, it was much more than just that.
But after this film, he never gave a single film which became that popular. He tried many.
He tried. No, then he went on to the popular stage. He made a film with Shah Rukh. Kabhi Haan, Kabhi Na. No? Which was again a different kind of comedy. A different kind of love story, but it is commercial and did reasonably well. But what an idea. But the lover, he's a besotted lover, but also a bloody crook and a charlatan. So he played even that game over there. Uske baad, when he went into what is called popular cinema, the whole world of it, people started saying, yes, let's have fun, yes, I could not, let's not get political, we can't mix the two. The 3-4 films जो बनाई उसने उसमें, you could tell his heart was not in it. And they started failing. Finally, he got tired and his backers also stopped. He finally said, yaar, ye bakwas band karo, sahi? Kundan, start making cinema that you believe and you want to make. And the first film that he made after that was on the suicide of 3 young girls from Kanpur. They committed suicide.
Yeah.
It's a true story. And he made a very ascetic film.
This is a film about basically how they wanted to spare their parents from the dowry.
Yeah, and the humiliation of finding them husbands.
Yeah.
And then, the entire caste system that comes into play. And how people get trapped into that whole situation of trying to, very beautifully made. But when it failed, he told me, Saeed, I know it's failed, but it's an honorable failure.
But then he tried another honorable failure, prostitute becoming the Prime Minister.
Yes, there was not. Then the last film was a prostitute which wants to is chosen to become Prime Minister of India. Now that was a bizarre piece of work. It was absurd, it was grotesque, it was funny, it was nauseating. In the end, everybody is contaminated, this film, except the prostitute. She remains uncontaminated.
She accepts what she is.
Yes. The rest, everybody down the line. And it was grotesque and funny and absurd and characters, his imagination went wild. But
well, everybody talks about politicians and prostitutes, which is a very common phrase which is used, and especially when you see in Goa people jumping from one party to the other. I mean, Kundan was very close to the truth.
And not just that, it's a circus. Where is that? Your A model, there are no principles, there is no ideology, and politics is a movable feast.
One of the things which really struck me in the whole book was the kind of love for reading.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you, and of course you're also a writer, but Kundan Shah read, a lot.
Amen.
There were some very nice anecdotes you mentioned about his reading. Please tell us about that.
Little things like, after me, Jaane Bhi Do Yaaro became a celebrity, cult, and he was on the committee for the National Film Awards, selection committee.
Yeah.
Prestigious, the honor to be sent to Delhi and watch film and select for the National Awards. So his wife said, Bakwala said, Kundan, you're going there, you better get some good clothes, yaar. Maybe pant shirt, okay. So she gave him, I think, 6,000 or 8,000 rupees. To get new pants, shirts, shoes, etc. to be. On the way, he was going to get his clothes, but on the way, lay his favorite bookshop, Strand.
Yeah.
He entered Strand bookshop and bought 6,000 worth of books.
Yeah.
He had to take a taxi back home because itni kitabein khareed li usne. And he told his wife, said, look, I'll be in a dark theatre, who's going to notice my clothes, you know. But these books I will not get, so I bought these books. He just loved it.
Yeah. He said if the films are screened in the dark room anyway, nobody's going to
who will notice my clothes? See my clothes. But also his love for all kinds of writers. But his favorite was Dostoevsky.
Yeah.
His favorite was Dostoevsky. I can't. And so, if James Hadley chased a Bulgakov, but Premchand and Magar Dostoevsky was
his favorite. Yeah.
Favorite. It's just that. And he also told me once in a story that he said, you know, when he was in England, paise nahi the. So once in a while you go to a bookshop and then take a book out, which he didn't pay for.
That is in England. And he said, okay, English people have stolen so much from us. I'm just
recovery kar raha main.
Well, there is another very interesting thing which struck me in this book, is when the riots happened in Gujarat. Kundan Shah said, I am sorry.
I can't believe it's true. I can't believe it. वो आए मेरे पास है सईद, I'm so sorry. I say,
why have you to be
what
sorry?
What have you done? तुम यहाँ रहो बम्बई में वो तुम कैसे नहीं ये तुम जानते नहीं सईद. No one is going to be held responsible for this. I know it. I'm a Gujarati. I'm a Hindu. I am responsible. I was shocked by this statement.
What was his response when Babri Masjid was demolished? That was a very, very unique response.
He was said things like,
let us build.
No, he's got to be built brick by brick in slow motion.
Slow motion. Yeah.
I said, Kundan, okay, I found it very funny, but why slow motion? He says the people of India have to know that a law has been broken. So slow motion to underline.
Yeah.
कि गलत क्या है by law, legally is wrong. तो slow motion में rebuild that mosque. I said, तुम पागल हो गए यार. अभी हो गया है, no. नहीं. If we don't do it, we will never do anything that's right.
Saeed, it was lovely talking about you, talking about this book with you. I think it is really something which everybody should read, everybody who is interested in Indian films. While you came up here to my room for this interview, you talked about creating a musical on Goa.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant idea, creating something on Goa by Saeed Mirza.
No, and all of us, I think we should get artists and musicians and writers involved in this whole project and create something which is, it is like a, very much like this book. It's a biography of Goa.
A biography of Goa, yes.
A biography, but through music.
Yeah.
Music, but we understand this land, which is very ancient. It's a very ancient land, and it's the references to Goa go back into time immemorial.
Absolutely.
And it's links with medicine, herbal medicine. It's linked, very ancient. Then it goes back into, then it comes in with the Deccan Sultans coming in, trade. It was the Arabs with horses, and then Deccan Sultans are coming in, becoming and then the arrival of the Portuguese, and in that mix, the inquisitions that are happening, and then things that are, and in that are a people, conversions that are occurring, and inquisition, but simultaneously, it's a land and a people, and very distinct people. Yes, it's Konkani speaking.
Yeah.
But why are the Goans different from the Konkani speaking in Karnataka, the Konkani speaking in Maharashtra? Why are they different?
Yeah, I think this is what we should explore in this musical.
It will be wonderful. It will be wonderful.
It will be a great thing. It will be a great gift to Goa and great gift to the world. Let us dream about this project.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining Gazali. And
thank
lovely
you
having you. Yes.
Thank you.